I'm Sandy Oliver, and I'm going to be your instructor for Humanities 115 this semester, and I just want to welcome you to the course. This is spring 2023, which still doesn't seem like an actual year to me. 2023, really? Anyway, we're going to be walking through Lewis Vaughn's Power of Critical Thinking, 7th edition, so make sure you have that as soon as possible. I'm going to walk through kind of an overview of what we're going to do in the class, and then I'm going to walk piece by piece through the syllabus. Hopefully I'll answer most of your questions about what are we doing this semester in this video. And I know it will be a little long, but imagine you are in a seated class and it's the first day and we go through all this stuff and it takes the whole class. So I'm hoping that you'll get through this fairly quickly and figure out what's going on in class and then do your best work. So here we go. If you haven't printed out your syllabus, pause me, go do that, bring it back. That way you can write notes on it for things, and then you'll have it for the rest of the semester to kind of look back on. The first thing I'm going to walk through, though, is the major assignments and due dates. This is also posted on our Blackboard page, under course information, and then major assignments, and it's that piece right there. Anyway, our class runs from Friday, January 6th through Monday, May 8th, and we have 3 holidays. Martin Luther King Jr. Day, which is Monday, January 16th, so no classes or due dates that day. Spring break is a whole week, March 6th through 10th. And then we also have Easter holiday on Friday, April 6th. And so those are our days off this term. We have 3 exams in the class. The first exam covers chapters 1 through 3, and that will be due on Thursday, February 2nd. The second exam will cover chapters 4, 5, and 6. The due date for that is February 23rd. And the third exam will cover chapters 7 and 8. Those are our more technical chapters on formal logic, and really the reason most of your programs want you to take this class. And so that one will be due Thursday, April 6th, so the day before our break. And then exam 4 covers chapters 9 through 12, and it's going to be due our last day of class, May 8th by noon. Okay, everything else is due 11:59 p.m., but my grades are due Tuesday morning by 10 o'clock, and so noon it is. Okay. For each of these, you'll have a study guide to do, and you'll have some practice and things to work with. There's also a video for each of those, so you can go in and they're short. Go in and say, oh, here's what we're doing this time. This is what I need to do. So we also have 3 papers, 3 pages each. Paper 1 is called Taking Sides in an Argument. And this one is really the one that kind of gives people problems. Pay attention to the directions. One of the things about this paper, the first paper, is not a research paper. It's also not just your opinion on the topic. It's asking you to evaluate the 2 articles in that topic according to what we've already learned in class. So how do they deal with experts and evidence and counterarguments and things like that? So it's more of an evaluation paper than it is anything else. The second paper is about your worldview. I give you a questionnaire so that you can kind of map things out, and then we do a rough draft and a final draft. There are no citations for that one, at least not usually. Paper 3 is our capstone project. All of the Humanities 115 classes have to do this, and so we work through a choice of scenarios, and then what's your preliminary answer to this, and what kinds of resources would you do. That goes in the proposal. You rough draft it, and then final draft. All 3 of these go through 3 steps, so you have a chance to kind of get things, think about things, write things down, flesh it out, polish it. That's kind of the writing process that you learned in 111 and 112. So English 111 and 112. So that's just how that works. Every week, unless we have a test, and even, no, every week, unless we have a test, you have chapter exercises to do, you have a reading log to do, and you have discussion board. Discussion boards are your, in my mind anyway, your easy, even if I'm stressed and don't have a lot of time, I can do this assignment and get my attendance for the week. And I'll talk more about that when we get to the syllabus. The reading logs are a page of work, your notes or outline or however you want to work it, a page of work, double spaced if you're typing, handwritten is every space. And so, we work on those. I want you to engage with the text and engage with the lectures. And so that's what that's for. I don't expect, a mind-blowing essay on each of the chapters or each of the sections of the chapters. But I do expect a page of work for each reading log. The chapter exercises, make sure that you're in the right spot and you're doing the right exercises and you're fine. The discussion boards are quotes, except for the first one, which is an introduction. But the rest of them are quotes, and you're supposed to respond to them. How you choose to respond to them, as long as it's respectful and PG, it's up to you. And then you have to answer, kind of respond to 2 of your classmates for each of those. So that gets us kind of, here's what we do in class. And I'm going to look at the syllabus now. I'm going to write this little number down, 650, so I can tell you that in the notes. Okay, so your syllabus, this is Humanities 115, Critical Thinking, Spring 2023. I am Sandy Oliver, Mrs. Oliver. My husband is Mr. Oliver. He teaches in the IT department, and he has an office because he's full-time. I am an adjunct, which means I'm a part-time instructor for JCC. I'm also a part-time instructor for a couple other community colleges. And so some days I need a little bit more grace than others. I'm sure you have the same deal. This class is 3 credits. The last day that a student can drop the class without a grade penalty is March 28th. So keep that kind of in mind. Hopefully you won't have to do that, but if you get to that point and you're thinking it's not going to go well for you grade-wise, it's often better to withdraw and try again than sit with an F. I can drop you at any point in the semester for excessive absences, and I'll get to that a little bit later. Okay, so again, I'm Sandy Oliver. Because I'm online all the time, I don't have an office on campus. I don't have set office hours, drop-in hours, but you can email me, and I am usually same day turnaround for those things. I try to do them within 24 hours. But if you email me later in the day, you might get me tomorrow. Okay, so just kind of keep that in mind. Let's see. Because I'm an adjunct, the only way you can really contact me is email. They don't let us use our cell phones for that kind of stuff, and I don't have an office phone because I don't have an office. So we're 100% online. All of your work gets submitted online through Blackboard. Readings and activities are posted for every week. My hope is that by the time you come into class on Friday the 6th, I will have the first whole unit up, which is the first 4 weeks of classes up. You can work ahead as much as you want. And since our classes are starting on Friday, you'll have a little bit of an open space there. I didn't make anything due on Friday. Our weeks are going to start on the 9th and work on from there. I tell you early on, I count weeks, basically Friday to Thursday, although Monday to Thursday is more like it. And I know a lot of you have online classes and they're all due on Sunday night. Well, the reason I don't do due dates on Sunday night is I don't want anybody to think they have to work on their holy day. And we have, various different major religions in this country, um, and around the world, of course, but mostly I'm worried about us, our country, right? And those days are either Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. And I don't want you to think, oh, well, she doesn't care about my holy day because things are due Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I have things due on Thursday because my holy day is Sunday. I try really hard not to be on here on Sundays, and I don't want you to have to either. I can't make things due on Sunday because I'm not going to be checking my email and being online on Sunday, and I don't want you to be high and dry without an answer to your questions. So Thursday it is. If you need to work on the weekends, that's fine. Make sure you're working for the week ahead, not the week behind, so you don't get the late penalty. And again, we're getting there. This textbook, oh, let's see if I have one really close. I think I might. Our textbook is The Power of Critical Thinking by Lewis Vaughn. It's this pretty blue one. It's the 7th edition. I know our bookstore has it. You can get it other places, of course, if you want. But the bookstore does price match, so keep that in mind. It's much easier to just go on campus and get it. Please make sure that you have the 7th edition. They did a major rework on this one, and although a lot of the exercises and stuff are the same, the paging isn't, and there's a lot of extra information in the 7th edition than there is in the 6th. So, 7th edition it is. Ta-da! Make sure that you're getting a paper book. Okay. I know there are a lot of folks who would rather have an ebook. You, as an individual student, can decide to do that. I'm not going to be able to help you much with that. You have to go in. There's a companion site. It's on page 2 under text technology and additional materials. The oxforduniversitypress.com does a really good job with Quizlet kind of stuff and all of that. So if you're up for that, go ahead. But all of our work is going to be from the paper version. So there you go. On page 3, you have the grading methods and what we're going to use for grades. Like I already told you, we have 3 papers. They are 10% each. We have 4 exams. They're also 10% each. The reading logs as a group are 10%. The rest of the homework is 20%, which is 15% for the general stuff we do every week, and 5% for discussion board. This isn't a point system. This is a weighted system. And so some things count more than others. Of course, a test is more than a piece of homework. Most of my homeworks are 20 points a piece, and the tests are more points than that, but we go by their percentage points when we get there. I do have a column on Blackboard called Your Current BB Grade. It's an estimate. Okay. Blackboard does interesting things with math sometimes. But also, if you are caught up, it's going to be very correct. Okay. If you're not caught up, it's going to be a little more optimistic than you should be. Okay, because it only counts things that you have a score for. So until we hit the big deadlines, I'm not putting zeros in. And so you'll look like you have an A, but use your critical thinking. If you haven't turned in any assignments except the enrollment verification quiz, you don't have any in the class. Okay, so think about things. If you get behind, or if you need me to figure out your grade right this minute, great, I can do that. Send me an email. Okay, and we'll do that. Final course grades are issued through WebAdvisor / self-service, not Blackboard, and we are a 10-point system. Okay, so 90.0 and above is an A. 80 to 89.9999 is a B. And let me tell you why I don't round up there. Okay, I round up every grade you get. So if your exam 1 grade is an 89.5, I give you a 90. Okay, so I stacked the deck for you all semester. At the end of the semester, whatever you got, you got. Okay. Um, I make every effort to post grades for on-time assignments within a week. I try to get to the bottom of the list at least twice a week. It doesn't always work that way, but hopefully this semester I don't have nearly as many sections as I did last semester. That'll be all good. A couple of things you can do to make sure that you get a decent grade, that you're doing your best work. First and foremost is to spend time with the material. Okay. Watch the lectures, read the book. I have notes posted as well. Figure things out, do the exercises, do the work as it's assigned, and then move on from there. My reminder to you is that an online class and a seated class have to have the same assignments and the same amount of work and all of that. This is not easier because it's online. In fact, for most folks, I think online classes are a wee bit harder because you have to budget the time to sit down and do stuff. I'm not meeting you at a certain time on the internet or in a classroom, and so you have to figure that out for yourself. My advice to you is to try to um, streamline the rest of your life and do school first. I know that's not always possible. Okay. I know a lot of you are, you work full time and you're being a full time student. Been there, done that. Some of you add children in on top of that, or instead of the work, the paid work kind of thing. It's a lot of time and effort. I know you're busy. I know, but you've chosen to take classes too. So give them their due as well. To that end, I do take late work. We all have other things going on, and sometimes they're more important than school. School can't lose every time. Okay, you did make a commitment to the class, you've made a commitment to come get your education, which I greatly applaud, um, but you got to do the work. If you know your assignment is going to be late, even if it's early on Thursday and you're like, oh, I thought I had X and Y and Z done, and I did not, send me an email, ask for an extension. Okay, I will give you a week to make that up without a grade penalty. If you just don't do it, um, that's okay. That's up to you. But you lose 10%. So paper loses 10%. That's, a whole percentage point off your grade. So you have to back things up there. Make sure that you give yourself enough leeway to get things done. I have as my deadline, like I've said before, Thursday nights at 11:59 p.m. Excuse me. I'll have the assignments up at least 2 weeks ahead, and you can work ahead as much as you want. But if you're trying to do well in school, then you need to know that you can't wait until 11 p.m. on Thursday and get all your work done. Okay. Give yourself some time. Do something early in the week, whether it's your discussion board or whether it's your reading log or whatever. Do something early in the week and get yourself set up for success. I'm a big advocate for planners, whether those are electronic or paper. For me, it's paper because I'm old and I need to write things down. Just make sure that you're paying attention to what works for you. Some folks need a lot of audio stimulation. Make sure you're watching the videos and listening to those. If you go to the companion site, some of the pieces will be read to you. Okay, so that's helpful audio wise. Make sure also if you're a hands-on learner, lots of you will be hands-on learners. Make sure that you figure out what works for you. I'm a visual kinesthetic. I have to see it. If I can manipulate it a bit, I'm even better. And so taking notes for me is necessary to understanding anything. I tell folks all the time, if I'm not taking notes, I'm not really paying attention. I can get short little bits, audio only, but other than that, if I don't write it down, I don't have it in my head. So figure out what works for you and then go do that. Okay. Again, our weekly due dates are Thursday by 11:59 p.m. Make sure you're doing what you need to do. Attendance policy, this is page 5. You have to be entered into the class before January 18th, or I drop you. Well, actually, it's a never attended and you can't get back in the class. If you, I'm not sure if they're doing that this year. Yes, you need to do the enrollment verification quiz early. Okay, today would be great. You've gone through the syllabus. When we get to the end of this, go sit down and do that enrollment verification quiz. It doesn't count for points, but what it does is it gives us a date for you to be enrolled in the class, present in the class. Think about this. If we had a live class, if we were in person or asynchronous, synchronous, it's weird. Anyway, if we were live online or if we were a seated class, you have to come to class the first day. I take attendance. That's your in. Well, we're online. I still have to take attendance. And so you have to do the enrollment verification quiz to get that credit. Please know that if you miss more than 2 weeks in this course, and that doesn't have to be 2 weeks together. So if you miss a week early on and then you miss 2 more weeks towards the end of the semester, I have to drop you. Okay, and that's a WF. It does count against your grade point. It does count against your financial aid. And so you want to be careful, keep track of your own absences. If you're getting down to the wire in a week, go and do the discussion board post and I'll count you present. And then get caught up really fast. Make sure that if you do end up with COVID or some other illness or, accident or whatever, keep me in the loop. Let me know what's going on. I'm more than happy to work with you on stuff like that. I know being ill for, weeks at a time is challenging and can really put a damper on your education. So keep me in the loop so I can keep you in the loop. Okay. I want you to be able to succeed. I want you to be able to do what you need to do here. And so I can't help you if I don't know what's going on. This is not me being nosy. I have a sheet for that early. Yeah. Anyway, if you have a religious or solemn observance this semester, make sure you let me know shortly, at least 2 weeks in advance, and I won't count things late. Okay. There are a few other things I have to tell you, and these are on page 6 and 7. First of all is our Jaguar writing portal. It's a free writing tutorial service available to all JCC students for all courses. And there's a tutoring tab at the top of the library page. The Academic Skills Center and library, they have a 48-hour response time, excluding holidays and closings. You can also go there live for help. Most of the time, there's no lines, no waiting. So use that if you need to. We also have something we call EARS. It's the Early Alert and Retention System. This is a progress report. The last couple semesters, I think we've done 1 or 2 every semester for certain populations. When they ask for them, I can also put you in if you're having trouble. I make sure that I try to email you if you're like I have nothing from you for a week. I'll let you know, hey, you missed last week. That gives you an absence, but move forward. So there's that part. The student concerns piece is if I do something that offends you or if you think I'm not being fair to you, please talk to me first. Okay. I will do my best to not get frustrated with you and to be engaging and on and doing what we need to do. Please, please, please read your directions first, read what you're supposed to do, right? Practice what you're supposed to do. I'm more than happy to help, but sending me an email that says, I don't know what I'm doing, is a bit broad for a subject. What's your specific question about which assignment? Okay, the more you can narrow that down for me, the better off we're all going to be. Okay, but if I do miss that part, please email me. Let me know. Hey, Mrs. Oliver, I was really frustrated with that last email, and I was wondering if you could rework that with me and help me out a little bit. Great, no problem. Okay. Um, I know I'm not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. Um, I know that I can be sharp, um, and I try really hard not to be. There's that meme that is, sometimes I open my mouth and my mother comes out. Try really hard not to do that. Um, if we can't figure things out, then you can talk to my chair, my department chair, who is Elizabeth Baker. She's wonderful, and she will definitely be on your side because she knows how I am. And we will work things out. Okay. If we need to go higher than that, right now our division doesn't have a dean or an associate vice president. We have to go to Dr. Reese, who is the vice president of instruction, and she will definitely get things done for us. So anyway, again, anytime I step on your toes, or you need to tell me knock it off or back off or whatever, feel free. Okay. Respectful is good. I try to be the same. If we can't make it work, again, we talk to Elizabeth and then Dr. Reese. The last thing on page 7 is a note about our quality enhancement plan. It's a QEP, is what we abbreviated. Everybody loves these acronyms. And it's called Pace Yourself, Progression, Advising, and Campus Engagement in the First Year. And really, this is to help students in their first year, especially. Not that you can't use Pace Yourself as you go along, but basically it's trying to help you integrate yourself into the campus community as much as you want to, and to show you what's available on campus and off, online, whatever, so that you can do your best work and be your best student. Okay. So that's what the QEP is. If you have questions, there are clicks on the Blackboard page. Like before you click into our course, go down the left-hand side, and there's a whole bunch of information there that you can go down a deep rabbit hole if you want. Okay, so that's those things. A couple of things I want to add in here. One is that I really love teaching this course. Humanities 115 is my favorite course to teach because it's a little bit of everything. We do some literature kind of stuff. We do some logic kind of stuff. We do some stuff that looks a little like math. We write, of course. And I really enjoyed the class because a lot of this is stuff that most of my students haven't thought about before, haven't been introduced to. And so it's wonderful that way because it's new stuff, and we all love new stuff. But it's also a little challenging because it's new stuff. So give yourself and the material a little bit of a chance to kind of run around in your head for a while, and be patient. We don't always get things the first time. There are things that you can probably just pick up and do, and that's awesome. A lot of the stuff in the class will be like that. There may be a few things that aren't like that, though. So when it happens, and you're, what is this? I don't understand this. Okay. Don't get into the spiral. Don't let your anxiety go all over the edge there. Just, okay, take a deep breath. Think about what you're being asked to do with what material, and then kind of go again. I will tell you, I told you earlier on, I teach for 2 other community colleges, and both of them have decided to make these huge changes over Christmas break and not tell us until we got back on Tuesday. And so my brain goes, "Ah, I can't do this. I can't do this. This is not possible." So, then I have a piece of chocolate, maybe a cup of tea, deep breath, um, and plunge at it again. Okay. Sometimes you have to take a step away and calm down, do something else that's easy, or check and make sure that you've had something to eat recently, that you've had something to drink recently, waterish stuff, not the fun stuff for this. But make sure that you're in your best space in order to kind of go forward with it. And when we get to chapters 7 and 8, you might remember these words and kind of go back to that. I hope your semester goes fabulously, that we all have a great time, that we learn lots, and that we're good at helping each other out. And then we all get A's. Okay. I would love that. I would love that amazingly. It doesn't usually happen, but there it is. Oh, and just so you know, I know that there are new and fabulous technologies out there that will do your work for you badly. Don't get roped into that. Don't get corralled into the new AI stuff that is writing your papers for you. As an English major and an English teacher for years and years and years, they suck. Okay. Whatever you do will be better than that. Okay. Don't let things get so spirally out of control that you want to resort to something like that. You're in college to further your education. So further your education, right? Do the things you need to do, take the time you need to take, and take breaks too. This is not I must be head down and running all the time. Yeah. Um, I hope this helps. I hope that you're still hanging in there at the end here. Make sure that you go take the enrollment verification quiz and get that out of the way. And that way you don't have to worry about, am I in the class? Am I not in the class? Okay. Let me know if you have questions. You know where to find me. You have my email. Okay.